James Lennis, this wine's next from the producer Utopia Wines. Now this is Utopia Vineyard, Ribbon Ridge AVA Chardonnay 2017 vintage. Stay tuned and I'll tell you more about this lovely wine. So I've reserved a front seat for you right there. This is a lovely wine and one where I think Ribbon Ridge is such an amazing region, and I've talked about this producer before. I think they do handsome wines, Pinot Noir Blanc. I'll put those videos right here if you want to look at that. I think this is a splendid, beautiful, sculpted Chardonnay. So just recently, National Chardonnay Day was a yearly event, and it's really designed to think about Chardonnay and talk about Chardonnay. And Chardonnay should never have been left out of the conversation. It had been because of a style, that very obvious buttery oaky style. Now, that's not been the story of Chardonnay for all time. That's not been the Chardonnay from all regions. Chardonnay is a splendid wine, and it's really highly dependent on the house to produce a Chardonnay and the style they want to produce it in. This is a lovely, very, very, just a touch of oak, but very, very little oak on this. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But that's the combination lock on Chardonnay. How do you get to that point? How do you drill down to creating the Chardonnay that is elegant, beautiful, refined? And Chardonnay gets beat up all the time. I mean, I think there's still some sentiment about anything but Chardonnay. There's a sentiment that Chardonnay is only inert. And I think Chardonnay is just an amazing wine. Look, some of the best, say, Champagne, the Blanc de Blancs are 100% Chardonnay. You could use other white grapes in Champagne region. So Chardonnay is the workhorse of the Champagne region. It does create, in my opinion, some of the most elegant, refined, sparkling wines. So this is a fantastic producer. So I have not visited Utopia before. I will at some point, and hopefully when I'm able to travel, when we're able to move more about throughout the United States and around the world, I'll be able to visit, put foot on ground. And for me, this is probably the longest period of time where I've not gone anywhere. I barely reached maybe 10 blocks of my own house. And so, you know, for somebody who's used to traveling and being out and about, this has been, I'd say, a little more difficult. So interestingly enough, I'm much more productive when I travel than when I don't. Yes, I have planes to catch, I have a ground transport to catch, I have you know, things to do and check in. Ultimately, I don't know how I get more work done, but I'm more focused. And not to say I'm not focused now, I do get a lot of work done. And but it's just one of those interesting facts. So back to Utopia. So I've reviewed their Pinot Noir Blanc, which is absolutely gorgeous. Pinot Noir Blanc is something that I wish more producers would do, but I'm glad that Utopia does one. So it's a house of passion for Pinot Noir Chardonnay. So this wine is $45 suggested retail price point, 13.2% ABV. 337 cases are produced in total. So the Dijon clones are 76, 95, 96. And a whole cluster pressed in the fermentation process. So this spends 11 months and 20% new French oak, 40% neutral French oak, and 40% stainless. There's a combination lock, right? That's an old world style in my opinion. And yes, there's some 100% stainless still out there, of course, from the old world. But I think this is a refined, elegant wine that just really is that, again, that really well-balanced wine where the winemaker's creating this elegant, gorgeous wine. So this is really a beautiful wine that speaks a old world dialect, but it's an Oregonian wine in terms of its fluency and language and style. So trying to make that metaphor there. So this wine is so gorgeous nose on this of apple and fresh pears, moist stones, and a hint of nutmeg. So the nose on this is compelling, gorgeous, and lingering. Fresh pear, fresh green apple, a bit of nutmeg, and moist stones. Gorgeous. Next, the palate characterization. So it's very much centered on a Granny Smith green apple notation, flowers, crushed oyster shell for that beautiful minerality to this wine. And that's what makes this wine a key and a great success. And nicely balanced, gorgeous, wonderful mouthfeel. So it's a gorgeous wine. $45 price point, suggested retail price point. Down below is an opportunity to write questions and comments, and also more information on this producer. The like button is down below, as well as the subscribe button to see the latest videos that I am producing. And share this video as well. I'd really appreciate that. And right up here, I'll put more videos that I reviewed of Utopia wines. And 94 points out of 100 points. Stay around for more reviews. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. We can make a social media connection. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and WordPress. You'll also find me on my podcast, which is Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more. Santé.